fall and winter months are typically a time to tidy up and clean out the garden. The thinking goes that removing plant debris will help prevent plant disease and pest in the coming year. However, we're learning more and more that plant debris is actually vital habitat for a lot of beneficial insects, as well as the ecosystem's way to replenish itself. We're talking to Texas master naturalist Catherine Wells to learn more about the life-giving nature of this seemingly dead time of year.
That's right, Tyler. And what may look dead, lifeless, even sterile on the surface is actually covering a teeming ecosystem just beneath the surface. For example, a lot of our butterflies and moths overwinter as eggs and larvae in the fallen leaf litter. Our Luna moth, which is one of the biggest and most magnificent moths in North America, is one that overwinters under the leaf litter of our Texas state tree, the pecan. Also, birds forage through leaf litter in the wintertime to help supplement their diet by finding insects and other invertebrates that are living beneath the leaves. And then 70% of our native bees are ground dwellers, which means that they are living underneath the ground in the winter season. Frogs and toads, too, are just another species that exist under the leaf litter. It literally helps keep them from freezing in the wintertime because they're cold-blooded amphibians and their temperature appropriates their bodies appropriate the temperature of the environment that they're in. And so we think, well, why do we care about frogs and toads? They're a great part of our ecosystem. They're an important part, and they're insect eaters, and that means they're eating a lot of what bugs us. Flies, mosquitoes. They're good to help protect and good to keep around.
Sounds like we definitely want more of that.
Yes, we do.
So it sounds like it's incredibly important to leave some leaf litter or plant debris to create this habitat that they depend on. What about plants that maybe a perennial that's died back and isn't as pretty as it once was? What do we do with those plants in the garden?
That's a great question, Tyler. And so I would advocate in your landscape or your garden trying to leave some things that have architectural interest all year round, even in the wintertime. Some of our native bunch grasses have just a really pretty structure, which is pleasing for us to look at, but it also provides protection for the littles that are seeking shelter in the wintertime. Also, some of your perennials and even your annual wildflowers may have seed heads on them, which would help feed the birds and other wildlife. They may also have fruit and berries, which would also benefit the birds and the wildlife to supplement their diets. Another thing is some of those stalks are hollow or pithy on those perennial plants. A perfect place for other native bees to overwinter in those stalks, including mason bees, which are super pollinators. They pollinate up to 120 times more efficiently than honeybees, and they are just one species of bees that overwinters in those hollow or pithy stalks of our plants.
Wow, so not just the leaf litter is important, but actually leaving some of that plant debris is important as well, because that's beneficial, right? So what if there's a reason that we feel like we can't leave something standing? Could we just cut it up and put it in the bed as mulch? Would that still serve its purpose?
That would be a great idea and a good alternative, Tyler. And I would say maybe break it up into 6-inch to a foot-long piece and scatter it around under the plant. It will do three things. Basically, it will help protect any bee larvae that may be overwintering in there. It will also help form a little blanket of protection for the plant roots, and as it decomposes, it will release nutrients back into the soil right there.
Very cool. So we learned about some things that we should leave in our garden, plant debris, fallen leaves, etc. What else should we be doing this time of year as far as maintenance goes or adding to our garden?
Well, it's a season of rest, but it's also a time to kind of look ahead and think what you might want to add to your landscape. So whether you're in a small space or a large space, you may want to consider adding shrubs or trees. Winter's a great time to do that while they're dormant, because then they have a chance to settle into their new home. Their roots can grow and get established with the spring rain, and they'll be all at home and ready to face our hot Texas summers by the time that rolls around.
Nice. So winter really is an important time in the garden.
It really is. And there's a season for everything, and the winter season, if we do our part to help protect the life that is there in the winter, then we can all sit back and enjoy the big show in the spring.
So far from being a dead time of year, winter is actually significant for life. and an opportunity to connect with your own piece of nature in a new way. So this year, before cleaning out the flower beds or bagging up your leaves, consider taking a different approach and giving back to the environment that supports us. Thanks for joining us.